Welcome to the MLS Show. It is me, Baz, here for the results reaction video. Just watched the final game of this week's Major League Soccer games between Sporting Kansas City and Toronto. We'll come on to that in a bit. Let's start with the first game of the weekend, which saw New York City against Orlando City. Great result for Orlando City, 1-0 away victory. An early Kyle Larin goal, I think it was after about 6 minutes. Kyle, it was a mistake by Saunders, no question about it. Should have done better with, his handling off the cross, but Larin reacted superbly well to head home and give Orlando an early lead. But what really impressed me in this game, as far as Orlando City were concerned, was I watched New York City the week before. They made a really good start to the season, New York City. And the week before against Toronto, Andrea Pirlo in midfield was just exceptional. He was short and long. I think I commented in the news roundup. He'd had 110 touches, which is more than any other player. 8 tackles, bizarrely, in the game. It was phenomenal last week. Fantastic ability on the ball. Rolling back the years looked great. And Orlando City came. They had Seren and Higuita back together in the middle of the park, and they just shut everything down. And if truth be told, he limited New York City to very little. I thought Tommy Redding at the back was exceptional. Young kid coming, absolutely fantastic in that, the heart of the Orlando defence. And give David Villa hardly anything to go at, really. The one time he got in, I think it was Mick Discaroo got in, and Bendick made a brilliant save, brilliant one-handed save to preserve, that clean sheet. And Orlando City played really well on the break. They had chances to wrap it up. Rivas, Kevin Molino should have made it 2-0 on the break. But it was a fantastic win. I mean, this game last season ended 5-3 to New York City. So obviously, both defences maybe learned a little bit from last year. I don't know. It ended 1-0. It was a great result for Orlando City. Takes them higher up the table, unbeaten now in their opening three games, their first victory. New York City, 4 points. Will be disappointed, but it's very early on for Patrick Vieira. Moving on, Chicago Fire 0, Columbus Crew 0. Not the greatest game, I'll be honest. Columbus Crew have made a horrible start, haven't they? Let's be honest. It's the first point of the season, so they're off the mark. You can look at it from that point of view. But for a team that was so free-flowing last season, really into the groove, scoring goals, Finley, Kamara, Higuain, Merrim, all, getting on the end of things and getting goals. This time, I just don't look as sharp at the moment. Kamara scored last week in the home defeat against Philadelphia, but just doesn't look up to speed at the moment. What I've been impressed with Chicago Fire was the first week, the opening day of the season, they played New York City, and they were a little bit all over the place. Both of them were, to be fair, they lost that game 4-3. But then I was impressed last week with them when they went down to Orlando and went down to 10 men. They defended brilliantly, so the work the coach has done, Paunovic has done, has been brilliant. He's got them nice and tight and compact. And again, they've demonstrated this week 0-0, against what I consider one of the best attacking sides in MLS in Columbus Crew when they're on their day. So a goalless draw kept it nice and tight again. And they're starting to, if they continue with this solid base, Chicago, they could, nick the odd game and then get that confidence going. But if you start with a good, solid base, you don't lose games, and then you just need that goal. So, a good, solid start. Yes, they haven't won a game yet, but I've been impressed with how they've kind of turned that defensive side of the game around just after the first week. Really, really good. New York Red Bulls 4, Houston Dynamo 3. This was an incredible game. A mad game, an incredible game. New York Red Bulls took the lead. Sasha Kljestan with a nice finish to give them the lead. But then Will Bruin scored a cracking little first goal, got in round the back and just a little dink over the keeper, over Robles as he came out to level things up. And then Bruin coming in again, defensive. I mean, I'm saying a cracking little first goal. It was poor defender, but the finish was great. The second one was a miss kick in the box, and he's just tucked it away quite well to give Houston Dynamo the lead again. Then Grella levels things up for Red Bulls when you think, right, have they got the momentum to go forward? But then, it's a goal from De Lima. Puts Houston back in front with a great left foot strike from the edge of the box right into the corner net to give Houston the lead again. But then Philippe with two, I know he's got a longer surname, I'm just calling him Philippe, with two brilliant goals. The first one, edge of the box and just bends it into that top corner. It's delicious to make it 3-3, and then he steps up. We've seen some fantastic free kicks this weekend in MLS, really, really top quality, and he puts the ball down and whips the free kick over the wall and into the top corner. It was a wonderful free kick, and he gives New York Red Bulls the victory. There was an amazing block, I forgot who it was who made the block, but it was a facial block at 4-3 in the last seconds. Feel free to tell me who it was exactly in the comments below. I have forgotten in all of the games that I've been watching over the weekend. But it was, an incredible result. New York Red Bulls, they needed that. They'd lost the opening two games, scoring none and conceding 5. So, they've let another 3 in, so obviously they need to get a bit tighter. But to score them 4 goals will have done them the world of good. And no goal for Bradley Wright Phillips yet, so you know that he will deliver goals. So his goals are to come. For Houston Dynamo, they opened up, didn't they, with a 3-3 and then a 5-0 against Dallas last week, and another 3 goals again tonight. And I think for Owen Coyle, he will be disappointed that they've scored 3 goals on the road and haven't won the game. And especially after being ahead 2-1 and 3-2, he'll be bitterly disappointed with that. But I suppose that the takeaway for Houston is that it's another 3 goals for them. That's 11 goals in 3 games. So that's fantastic. If you're getting that flow in football and getting goals, putting the ball in the back of net, that bodes well. Obviously, just got to tighten up a little bit at the back. Next one, FC Dallas 2, Montreal Impact 0. Montreal Impact have been, for me, the most impressive side in the opening 2 games of the season. He looked really, really good. Great win up in Vancouver. Great win against Red Bulls last week. Came to Dallas, who was spanked 25-0 last week. And this was a tight game. Could have gone either way. Chances at both ends. Some missed opportunity. I was impressed with Harry Shipp. He looked good at times, but I think with Impact is they look, they didn't have Drogba, but he came off the bench this weekend. Ironically, come on at 0-0, 20 minutes to go for his first action of the season, and then Diaz scores. What a goal from Diaz! Brilliant goal, free kick whipped in by Diaz to give Dallas the lead, and then Arruti, I think that's how you say it, with chasing a ball over the top and just whacks it over the goalkeeper as he's coming out. And it's just a wonderful goal, and Dallas will be delighted with that because obviously they won the first game at home 2-0 and then a spanking last week, a 5-0 defeat to Houston last week. But they've bounced back with a 2-0 win against Montreal Impact, who are, and like I said, who have been, for me, looked the most impressive side after the opening 2 games. So, a great win for Dallas. They're back in amongst it, and I'm quite sure Montreal Impact will recover from this. They've got, they look such a good side, and obviously the more they can get Drogba on that pitch, the better they're going to be. Seattle Sounders 1, Vancouver Whitecaps 2. Two really poor penalty decisions, I think. I think the first one is berserk because the lad seems to just dive himself, and the referee awards a penalty. Pedro Morales scores the penalty to put them ahead. Ivan Shit scores a free kick, left foot, round the ball, rocket shot to level things up for Seattle. And then you're thinking, is Seattle going to go on from here? Because again, they've made a poor start. Seattle, to the season. Are they really missing Ober Martins this week? To be fair, they've had a lot of players out for this one, but, they'd be really disappointed. But then, ball down the middle again, and I can understand why the referees give the penalty, the second one, but it just makes me think about video technology. And I've done an interview with Orlando City President Phil Rawlins this weekend, and I asked him about video technology because I personally believe it can't not come in now. It can't not come in to the game. It's so important. Yes, it can't be for every decision. Of course it can't. But for me, it's things like this. And listen, I've looked at it 3, 4, 5 times. It looks like a great tackle. Kid gets the ball first. Referee awards the penalty. Pedro Morales knocks the penalty in. And Vancouver Whitecaps get, an important victory for them. A 3-1 away win. So they're up and running. For Seattle, 3 defeats out of 3. And they will be gutted, won't he? On to the next one. It's LA Galaxy 3, San Jose Earthquakes 1. This was a tight game, but for certainly the first half, it was quite even. I think Galaxy prompted and probed and had chances. Obviously welcoming Ashley Cole back into the fold this weekend. But Simon Dawkins, silly boy, 0-0, and then throws a challenge. You see, the hard thing, I guess, is the fact that he gets a little bit on the ball, Dawkins, but he's diving in from the side and he's left the ground to make the tackle. And the rule is, when you leave the ground, you're not in control of your body, basically. And he's left the floor, caught the lad, he's red carded. And then Galaxy just step it up and Zada scores. He gets a brace, gets 2, puts them 2-0 up. Wando, with his customary goal. Chris Wondolowski, always going to get you goals. If you create anything for him inside that 18-yard box, the kid will score goals. He will score goals, excuse me, just still recovering from this silly cold. Wondolowski will always score goals. Really, really good finisher. He gets it back, and then Robbie Keane, with a lovely little shimmy in the box, goes over, and the referee awards the penalty, and Keane strokes it in for his second of the season, both from the penalty spot. And Galaxy, bouncing back. He won the first weekend 4-1 against DC, lost in Colorado last week, but have bounced back well this week with a 3-1 win. San Jose dust themselves off, and get back at it after the international break. Portland Timbers 2, Real Salt Lake 2. Real Salt Lake finished this game at 9 men. Berserk game. Berserk in terms of the red cards. João Plata with a goal. Again, excuse me, throat's gone. He's made a great start to the season, hasn't he, Plata? And Real Salt Lake have impressed me. They didn't have the greatest of seasons last season, but I think I've been impressed with them this season. I've been impressed with them day one in Orlando. Yes, of course, they conceded 2 late goals, but they bounced back and won last week. And then, they'll be disappointed with this one, obviously, but it's a point away at the at MLS Cup holders. So, they can't be. I'm quite sure they will be frustrated, but they'll look at it and think, well, we've had 9 men, we've ended the game in 9 men, we've got a point. I can't even say the kid who scored the second goal, not even him, the new striker. He scored a lovely second goal. Fernando Adi getting a brace for Portland. And it ended 2-2. So a decent point, I think, for Real Salt Lake. I think for Portland, they'll be a little bit frustrated having lost last week at San Jose. They wanted to continue their strong home form. Of course, they beat Columbus Crew in week 1, but it's a point, it's an extra point, and they keep going from there. Philadelphia Union 3, New England Revolution 0. CJ Sapong was fantastic for Union. He was really, really impressive tonight, to be fair. His first goal, first goal took a deflection, but he offered himself up at a good foil. He takes the ball in, he backs into people. He's a good runner. He played really well last week at Columbus, I thought, and he's just carried that on tonight. He got the first 2 goals, put them 2 up, and then fella who you will know by now that I love watching is Lee Wynn, and he is so unlucky. He hits a free kick that it's one post, goes along, it's the other post, and rolls back comfortably into the goalkeeper's arms. That goes in. The Revs are back in it. 2-1, they are back in it, and they, will boost themselves. But what happens is that stays out, and a minute later they get a man sent off. 36 minutes, 36 minutes, 2-0 down to 10 men. It was always going to be a long way back, but I'm sorry, the first penalty decision that Philadelphia Union got was just outrageous. It was the referee, I honestly sometimes don't know what game they're watching, but for me it was never a penalty. But Shuttleworth saved it. They then got a second penalty, which Latu missed. Shuttleworth saved it again. but before the two scored and made it 3-0 at the end. But Bobby Shuttleworth, two brilliant penalty saves for him, unfortunately on the wrong end of a 3-0 defeat. DC United won, Colorado Rapids won. The news today, obviously, that Colorado Rapids have acquired Tim Howard from Everton. He will join in July on a 3.5-year deal. Obviously, the US men's national team goalkeeper joining Colorado, and he will make them stronger along with Jermaine Jones. So, a boost for them. Went ahead off a Powers header off a corner. Really good header, great ball in, bullet header to give Colorado the lead. But then the man who Howard will probably replace, Zach McMath, drops across, and Espandola, who just come on as a sub, rifled it home to give DC United a point. So a share of the spoils for them too. And finally, the game that has just finished, 20 minutes ago, Sporting KC 1, Toronto 0. Tight game, two very good sides, atmosphere fantastic, lovely ground, brilliant ground, Sporting Park there. And Brad Davis with his first goal for Sporting KC. It was a foul, let's make no bones about it. He's clipped Morrow. He hasn't, they'd gone in together, but it's a foul. Morrow's ahead of him, he's took him out. But from, the foul wasn't given. Davis gets it, cuts back in and whips a lovely left-footed shot right into the far corner to give Sporting KC the lead. And, they held on from there and, got Roger Espinosa, is it? He got sent off for, again, it's one, it's one of them where you look and you think, is it a red? He's gone in. I don't know. I think it was a little bit harsh, to be honest with you. I think the referee had two big decisions and probably got both of them wrong. But Endo missed a great chance, or Melia made a great save, whichever way you want to look at it, at 0-0, and that obviously would have changed the game if he'd have slotted that one. But it was pushed onto the crossbar. Brilliant save from the goalkeeper to keep the score at 0-0. So, but Sporting KC hung on, defended brilliantly at two at the end. Don Dwyer missed a chance, a header for 2-0, but other than that, I thought they were nice and compact, Sporting. And they are the only team, they are the only team with a 100% record left in MLS, 3-0 from the opening 3 games. So, there you go. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments section below about this weekend's games. I can only apologise for the fact my throat is going. I'm developing this cough. It's annoying. Give us a little subscribe. We're over the 2,000, which is fantastic. Brilliant response. Loved, fantastic support from everybody. I loved all the interaction that we're getting as we're getting more and more. Me and Ped will be doing a show tomorrow as well. We get the other lads involved and we'll have a little discussion about a few other things. So don't forget to look out for that. And I'll be back later on in the week with more videos. So give us a subscribe, follow us on Twitter at the MLS Show. We're always there for a chat. Like us on Facebook, please. We haven't got enough likes. Together in the middle of the park, and they just shut everything down. And if truth be told, they limited New York City to very little. I thought Tommy Redding at the back was exceptional. Young kid coming, absolutely fantastic in that, the heart of the Orlando defence. And give David Villa hardly anything to go at, really. The one time he got in, I think it was Mick Discaroo got in, and Bendick made a brilliant save, brilliant one-handed save to preserve, that clean sheet. And Orlando City played really well on the break. They had chances to wrap it up. Rivas, Kevin Molino should have made it 2-0 into the season, so they're off the mark. You can look at it from that point of view. But for a team that was so free-flowing last season, really into the groove, scoring goals, Finley, Kamara, Higuain, Merrim, all, getting on the end of things and getting goals. This time out, just don't look as sharp at the moment. Kamara scored last week in the home defeat against Philadelphia, but just doesn't look up to speed at the moment. What I've been impressed with Chicago Fire was the first week, the opening day of the season, they played New York City and they were a little bit all over the place. Both of them were, to be fair, they lost that game 4-3. But then I was impressed last week with them when they went down to the break. But it was a fantastic win. I mean, this game last season ended 5-3 to New York City. So obviously both defences maybe learnt a little bit from last year. I don't know. It ended 1-0. It was a great result for Orlando City. Takes them higher up the table, unbeaten now in their opening three games, their first victory. New York City, 4 points. Will be disappointed, but it's very early on for Patrick Vieira. Moving on, Chicago Fire 0, Columbus Crew 0. Yeah, not the greatest game, I'll be honest. Columbus Crew have made a horrible start, haven't they? Let's be honest. It's the first point, but Larin reacted superbly well to head home and give Orlando an early lead. But what really impressed me in this game, as far as Orlando City were concerned, was I watched New York City the week before. They made a really good start to the season, New York City. And the week before against Toronto, Andrea Pirlo in midfield was just exceptional. He was short and long. I think I commented in the news roundup. He'd had 110 touches, which was more than any other player. 8 tackles, bizarrely, in the game. It was phenomenal last week. Fantastic ability on the ball. Rolling back the years looked great. And Orlando City came. They had Seren and Higuita back. Welcome to the MLS Show. It is me, Baz, here for the results reaction video. Just watched the final game of this week's Major League Soccer games between Sporting Kansas City and Toronto. We'll come on to that in a bit. Let's start with the first game of the weekend, which saw New York City against Orlando City. Great result for Orlando City, 1-0 away victory. An early Kyle Larin goal, I think it was after about 6 minutes. Kyle, it was a mistake by Saunders, no question about it. Should have done better with, his handling off the cross.